love seeing this many people loved her. So thank you.
When we were little, Laura, Jean, Deb, and I would drive down to Redmond, Pennsylvania. Thank you, I needed that. To visit some of Laura's family. As a special treat, they would take us to a little theme park called Sesame Park on the ride back. That's my phone. When we were little, Laura, Jean, Deb, and I would drive down to Reading, Pennsylvania to visit some of Laura's family. As a special treat, they would take us to a little theme park called Sesame Park on the drive back. There was Cookie Monster Mountain, Elmo's Workshop, Big Bird's water slides, bounce houses, etc. Devin and I remember it all vividly, but what I remember being my favorite part was this giant concrete watch that you could walk on like a balance beam. Better than the little roller coasters, better than the obstacle courses, better than all the attractions handmade for kids my age. I loved that stupid watch. For 25 years, I have not been able to figure out why it was a thing that stood out to me as my favorite. Recently, I found some videos from our trips. Me and Devin on a slide, me and Devin on a Cookie Monster Mountain, me and Devin in Elmo's Workshop. In each of the shots, I'm standing there watching everything, skeptically taking it all in, not really participating, waiting for Deb to test it out and report back. And then there's the watch, and immediately it made sense. I'm walking confidently across it, giggling with joy as Jean holds my hand and encourages me along. She never lets me go. She's right there the whole time. I don't know how to rate this part. A part that she's not here for. Jean O'Leary was a wholly unique person. She was the best at voices when reading, permanently ruining any books we read that were turned into movies because the actors didn't hold a candle to her. She was the queen of saying "ruh-roh" in response to a completely awful situation, putting a smile on everyone's face. She had a wicked sense of humor, and most impressively, an intense love for life. Jean did not have the easiest life from start to end. It's why it's so unfair that she went out this way. She had to grow up fast when her mother died, raising her siblings at far too young an age, but she chose to have a good life. She traveled the world and found joy in so many strangers, whether it be over a pint of Guinness in Ireland, or from afar, sketching people perfectly on the back of a napkin. She met Laura, and they fell in love and created a phenomenal home for Devin and I. They poured love and time and an almost unimaginable patience into raising us, homeschooling us, transforming our entire home into a life-size board game for a birthday party, taking old refrigerator boxes, and turning them into haunted tunnels at Halloween. We grew up in a house of imagination. Boredom was not an option. When we were little, I thought we were filthy rich because there wasn't a thing I thought I didn't have. Jean and Laura made a choice in raising us, a choice far rarer than I think it should be. Their commitment to being parents was baffling and all the time. They created a community of queers, making a chosen family better than anything, and Jean remained the best sister to the O'Learys. Our home was a safe haven, a playhouse with a sense of humor. All were welcome. I could stand here for hours, telling stories of homeschooling, or JP or Christmas Eve parties, but for some reason, I want to talk about how she was in the end, because almost as impressive as how Jean lived was how she died. It is impossible to write this because somehow it feels like it's signing off on her death. It's an acknowledgement that she's really gone, that I don't get to feel the soft squeeze of her hand anymore. Alzheimer's is a cruel disease that has been slowly taking our mom away from us for 15 years. But we thought perhaps that we were ready for this moment, but we weren't, and I feel really lucky about that. I feel so lucky that we had such a fantastic mom, that no matter how long we had to prepare for this, we would never be ready. Jean was able to keep so much joy through Alzheimer's, more than we thought possible. Even in her state of confusion, the constant loss of memories and abilities, she looked out for all of us. She made it as easy as she could. She was quick to laugh and tell us she loved us. She would dance and soak up every bit of life that she could. Even as she began to leave us, she honored the sweetness of life, the preciousness of it all, and she made us all better for it. Once when I was visiting her at Rogerson, she asked how I was. She didn't often do that because we were usually laughing too hard or singing along loudly to Beyonce. It caught me off guard, and I burst into tears as if through instinct she came back for a minute, my fully formed mama from years past, and she hugged me and told me that she loved me and it was all going to be okay. I stayed for another hour. We sang more Beyonce and ate more ice cream. We talked in circles about things that didn't matter then and now matter so much. When I brought her back to the music room to watch Mamma Mia, I kissed her goodbye. She looked me directly in the eye and said, "Goodbye, baby, see you in another world," and smiled with all the love and reassurance in the world. She was amazing. When Mom, Deb, or I walked into the room, something in her would light up, a recognition of us always, a squeeze of the hand, a press of the forehead, the corner of a smirk when we did something stupid. Laura cared for her so well, in so many ways that all of us will never know, will never see. In the moments when it was just the two of them at home, and Laura created comfort and rituals so that Jean could laugh in the safety of her love. I have discovered now, when I thought I already understood the complexities of tragedy and trauma, that true heartbreak and true happiness share the same skin. I have this new view from the top. Perhaps it's hers, as if in the moments where I laid with her overwhelmingly peaceful body, she let go, not of the space, but of all her knowledge and wisdom, that confidence that can fill a room, stop a bullet in its tracks. The absence felt impossible, but in the days since, I feel safer than I have since I was 5. And my lips turned blue, and salty water clung to my curls, and she laughed as she wrapped me in that striped towel and laid me on her chest to warm up. With her, nothing was in black and white. Everything was in full, rich colors, 4K, 3D, but classic. I have fresh eyes. She sits behind them now, like a guide, cluing me in with her continued magic that I foolishly thought would leave the world when she did. Jean proving me wrong once again. Now I'll make her chilly while listening to Aretha Franklin's Newsom Dorma, and I'll let myself cry with her, not for her. I can picture her perfectly in the warm sunshine glow of the kitchen at Bourne Street. She'd be cooking something amazing, and I'd walk to join her for a story or a taste to see if the cayenne ratio was right. And there she would be, standing in front of the stove with her hand pressed to her chest, her eyes closed with a smile, as tears spilled down her face and Aretha belted out some Latin. "Can't you feel it?" she'd say, hugging me and laughing at her own tears. And I'd nod, but I didn't fully. Not really. Now I do. We will forever replay her stories in Italy when she out-talked a kidnapper. In Belfast, stowing away. In Greece, swimming with fish, so I remember it as mermaids. She is like some mythical character, Anansi with his cunning, Athena with her bravery. But how lucky are we that she is made up, that she's not made up from storybooks, ancient rituals. She is mine, all mine, and her magic means we'll never have to say was when it comes to her. She is, presently. We eat blackberries and think about the seeds we planted, eating the cherries and spitting out the pits. I can't help but laugh with every big cry because that was how she would do it. Never take life or yourself too seriously. I will make handmade pasta for her because she never got around to it. And I won't let myself mourn, but instead will tell a story about her as I do it. Conjuring her is much easier than I would have imagined. Since Mom's death, I feel I have settled into myself fully. How strange, perhaps, in my final hugs of her, the hours Devin, Nikki, and I spent washing her feet and leaving tears on her forehead, the moments alone when I sang her Sweet Baby Jane and played her Beyonce's Blue, and I sat with her sweet, calm, finally peaceful body. I absorbed her confidence. Another in an endless list of gifts from her to me. Just in the last month, I'm a little louder now. I'm a little more honest, a little faster with my comebacks, a little more straightforward with my thoughts, a little less self-conscious when I sing or cry or dance or laugh or speak. I am kinder to people, but more likely to call them out. I try harder to lead with love, but I'm ready to call bullshit because I can carry her with me. She was a practical daydreamer, a spontaneous expert, a soft warrior. There is no losing her, though we have mourned her loss. We'll always mourn the loss of her laugh from future friends and loves and children. I will miss the scent of the small pool at the bottom of her neck that even after she passed smelled like my infancy. Devin will miss the endless hours they spent together. Naming plants and birds with expert knowledge. Laura will miss road trips, on the road again, blasting on the radio. I will miss the way she would braid and unbraid my hair when I was nervous, because she knew it calmed me down. I will miss the way that she would find me at the moment just before my lowest and make fun of me in just the right way so I would come back fully and more powerful than before. Carol will miss her dance partner and confidant. I will miss the way her nose would crinkle when she laughed, the look we would share at a party that was only for us, the way she held spiders in her hand to let them gently outside because I was so afraid of them, but she refused to kill them. Though yes, sometimes she would chase me around with them just to scare me. I will always miss what it feels like to feel her proud eyes on me when I'm doing something big, or more often, in a small moment, a quiet moment, when she saw who Devin and I were becoming. I will miss the way that she was so busy, always moving, always taking care of others, but on Saturday mornings, when she woke up, when our little feet would scamper into her room and jump under the covers so she could read to us, she would take her water glass and hammer it on the ground so that Mom would come upstairs for making coffee and bring her a mug, and the four of us would laugh and read and prepare for the day. In the months since her death, we have realized that these parts of her are permanently ingrained in us. No sooner could we live without them than without our major organs. We will never look at the lights on a Christmas tree without squinting, taking a step back and swirling an imaginary martini, just like she did. When I read books to children, I will pick booming and distinct voices for each character. Devin will spend way too long looking at the art in museums, and we will both be the last ones at the party. We will talk to her, we will talk about her absence with pride and tragedy and wonderment at our sheer damn luck. That we got Gina Leary as ours, what we did in a past life to get this one. I'm not sure, but my God, am I grateful for it. When Devin and Nikki would visit Mom at Marina Bay, he would end each visit the same way. And then gently whisper into her ear that she had done good, that we were all okay because of her, that everyone was safe and happy. And that it would all be okay. That he was so proud to have her as a mom, that she had done such a good job. That her legacy will never end. Mom, you've done really good. We are all okay because of you, and we are so proud to have you as our mom. You did a really good job. We promise you aren't going anywhere. Goodbye, Mama. See you in another world.